Things are changing and are changing really fast. I was born and raised in Dar es Salaam. Actually, I was born and raised in Kariakoo, very close to Sokoni Kariakoo and Msimbazi, where Simba was born. It's unfortunate. By the way, I'm a very diehard Simba fan, so I had a very bad evening yesterday. So, and Manchester too. Yeah. So, 15 of the fastest growing cities in the world are all in Africa. Most of the African cities are expected to attain what they call a mega city status in the next few years. It means these cities will have at least roughly 10 to 13 million people living in those cities. People in those cities will have to dress, will have to eat, will have to navigate. You can imagine how difficult it is to navigate in Dar es Salaam right now, and by 2030, it will be 12 million of us. Have you ever asked yourself how long it will take you from Goba to Posta when we are 12 million of us in this city? It will create challenges, but also it creates new opportunities. Things like platform economy, sharing economy, digital economy. These are the things that will happen at a faster rate. Some new potential unicorns will be formed. Potentially, a startup like Food Sasa might be one of the most valuable startups by then, because nobody will be willing to waste 3 hours to go to look for food. Potentially, a startup like Pakota Solution will offer easy access, waterless access for you to wash your car, and they save more than 10,000 liters of water per month. Might become the unicorn because the government will be looking for ways to protect the less amount of water we have. Perhaps because we'll be moving to gig economy, startups like Colpesa will be another unicorn because they will ensure a lawyer or a teacher can do remote consultation and get paid in real time. Perhaps we'll find a better use of our rooftops, because with the current trends, Mbeya and Ilinga cannot continue to feed us. It won't be possible. It won't be possible for us to continue to rely for food from the Southern Highland. The role of innovators and disruptors, not just tech disruptors, it will be very crucial. Startups that will move quick, and innovators and companies and entities and enterprises that will move quick into manufacturing, smart manufacturing, and the food industry, urban farming. Those will be industries of the future. And those are the next millionaires. And those are the people who are going to solve some of the most complex problems that our society are facing today. So instead ya juu ya magorofa yetu kuweka uchafu na mashine yaliharibika zamani ambayo hayatumiki, we should expect something like this to happen. But there's another interesting fact. Africa's current population expected to double by, I think, between 2050 to 2100. In the next 3 decades, we'll have the largest workforce in the world. In the next 3 decades, we'll have the largest mid-income earners compared to the rest of the world. The median age of an average African is 19.7 years old. So an average African will be young 20 years to come. Let me repeat that again. An average African, I'm very happy to see UNFPA is here, they deal with demographics, age demographics and population. An average African will be young 20 years to come. And this is the definition of young of Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan, our honorable president, because she said you are young up to 45. So it means, well, that is a good news, and we have a huge, this large workforce that can be adrenaline, pump, and push things to move forward. But in turn, without proper strategies on how we're going to capitalize on it, it can be catastrophic. I think the median age of Tanzania, you can Google that, it should be less than that, around 18, 17. Wow, I'm being told it's 17. So it's even younger. So how do we create opportunities to these young people? These tensions, frustrations, discussions that are happening on social media, in the kizazi, which I call sasa sisi tutafanyaje, because that's how they send text. We will be struggling to catch up with their pressure. It is not by mistakes what happened with the Arab Spring, or what happened in Sudan, or what's happening in West Africa. This youth uprising in most of the urban Africa is not happening by mistake. It's a lack of opportunities. We need to create these opportunities. Actually, Minister of Finance of Nigeria, Orio Konjo, she says she's afraid African youth will turn into violent extremism in the next few years if we don't do anything meaningful to create opportunities for them, because it will turn into a situation of us against them. Yeah, so we are doing something. We are creating jobs. I was informed that the border economy is 219 billion Tanzanian shillings economy. Do you know that? The border, that is the border economy. So the motorbikes they import, the spare parts they use, the phone calls they make, the insurance they pay. So if one disruptor can capitalize on that and come with a product like Border Pesa for them to trade and do virtual currencies and transact within themselves, I was informed also in a day they do 200, 300 million transactions, border drivers. So it's an economy. Is it a sustainable one? Can all Tanzanian youths become border drivers? I'll leave that for you to decide. Another interesting fact. So 12 million youth are getting into the job market in Africa every year. That is twice the size of Finland, 5.5. 12 million youth. There's no official number for Tanzania, so I'll be very careful not to mention any figure. So the key question is, how do we create a way not to cover this crisis and rub it and, but to strategically find a way to tackle it by creating those opportunities and those solutions? Oh, this will be the results. Remember the End SARS movement in Nigeria? For any small issue, like what Mwalimu used to say, akipatikana tu mwendazimu mwenye kibiriti akakidondosha then moto tawaka. For any small issue, African youth ran to the road because of the pressure and frustration. Millions of youth in Lagos and Abuja went to the road with this campaign of End SARS. It turns into a bloodbath, into a bloodshed, and catastrophic to the Nigerian government. But if you do scientific research and investigation, it wasn't an issue of End SARS now. It was a bigger issue of lack of opportunity, lack of employment, living in some of most extremely difficult life situations. And also the big brother is watching. We are very excited about the algorithm and artificial intelligence and the digital transformation and everything else that is happening. But The most powerful states right now, they are not even countries. They're the big nines: Facebook, the Google, the Twitter, the Alibaba. No wonder China is trying to fix that good guy, because they control something very powerful. They control the data. They control what we consume. They control our behavior. They control our perception. They know how many Tanzanians are frustrated after loss of Simba yesterday. Based on what you tweet, what you comment, what you engage on, they can even shape the narrative. They can tell you to go to the road and protest. They can tell you to stay in the room. They can tell you vote for Trump. They can say good luck, Jonathan is bad. That's the power they have. One mistake Instagram did during the EndSARS movement, one post, which has thousands of engagement, made people to go to the street for something which was not actually there. One post. One tweet post of Tiwa Savage saying Nigerians are being butchered in South Africa. It will reciprocate worse, in a worse way, in Lagos and Abuja. The likes of Cambridge Analytica, they are shaping the narrative, and at some point of time, they'll be able to put presidents in Africa. If you don't solve our problem, we'll solve our own problems. I can guarantee you, there's a kid right now in Tandale or junction near Sandali or somewhere in Makangalawe, living this life and making a lot of money, more than an average public employee. They're either doing Forex, they do content creation, they outsource their programming skills, or they just insult people on Twitter. But they're making money. The key issue is, while we want to capitalize an informal economy, how do we make the most of this? Because they're there. In Gerezani, Dar es Salaam, Yuakari in Nairobi, and Xiongbe in China, is the fact kwamba sisi wale tumeona wanachafua mji, so we didn't have a strategy to capitalize on them. Now wenzetu wameona kwamba okay, these are adding value, so let's create a maker space and labs to capitalize on their skills so that we can manufacture more than US. It's just an issue of making decision. It's not a technology issue, it's a leadership issue. And that's why we're having this leadership roundtable, and everyone in this room is a leader. Because we need those strategies and plans. It's not an issue of nuts and bolts. It's an issue of who is driving the car. Before I close, the internet economy, this is going to Google and IFC, the African internet economy is expected to hit 180 billion USD in the next 2 or 3 years. So we choose. We want to capitalize on this. We want to remain the spectators, or you want this to finish us at our own peril, because it can also do that. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward for an exciting conversation today.